Show notes are one of the most important parts of a podcast. They're the place where the magic happens, where the viewer decides to explore more. They go down the rabbit hole, which leads to you getting more of what you want. It's more clicks, more leads, more email addresses, more conversions, and ultimately more sales. But how do you structure show notes in a way that's easy and understandable? Keep watching, and I'll tell you exactly how I do it so you can do it for yourself. I'm Dom, your digital marketing friend. Let's jump on into it. Okay, this is part two of a four-part series on how I create podcasts from my bedroom. If you haven't watched the first part about creating outlines, go back and watch that. I'll put it somewhere on the screen. I'll also put it in the show notes down below so you can take a look. Also, a quick disclaimer, this is not the only way to do it. Creating show notes, it may not even be the best way. It's just the way that I'm currently doing it, that I've found some kind of success with, and I hope that it can help you. So take what's useful and leave the rest. All right, so let's jump on into it. Um, I'm just going to tell you how I think about show notes. Like there's kind of a little process that I go through. So I'll tell you that. The structure that I'm using. And then I'll lastly, if you stay to the end, tell you about some important notes that I've learned from making show notes. And hopefully this will help you make show notes better, faster, without the struggles and complications that I went through. Okay, so first, I how I think about show notes. I kind of think of them in two, not two ways, but two sections or whatever. And we can just call them before and after, right? So before recording and after recording. Before recording, I have just kind of a set structure that I use, pretty simple. And after I do the outline, I will fill out as many parts of that structure outline for the show notes that I can. And that's what I do before the recording. Now, after the recording, it's pretty much the same thing, but I will just review the recording. And if there's anything that I missed, anything I mentioned, any extra links or anything, then I'll just be sure to add those in. And then after that, I move that final version over to YouTube. So, yeah, very short. That's basically how I think about show notes before recording and after recording. And so, the before recording part, that's where I mentioned I have that structure, like a kind of outline, if you will. And this is that outline. It's the summary. So just a quick 2 to 3 sentence paragraph about what it's about. And I want to get the viewer or the potential audience member to be interested and intrigued. So I'm going to use a little bit of, I don't know, I don't want to say mystery, but essentially mystery. So I'm going to give a little bit away and tell, okay, well, this is why you should watch this video, the things that you'd get, the benefits from it, without necessarily giving away everything, right? So that's the first part, summary. Second part is the offer or lead magnet. If you are affiliate marketing, if you have your own products or services, if you have any lead magnets, anything that's a great place to put it. And you can also switch those one and two, the summary and the lead magnet. They can be um, switched, and the reason why I'll come back to in a little bit. So yeah, the third thing is links and resources. So if there's anything I mentioned, let's say, articles or videos that I mention in the video, then I would put them there. For example, earlier in this video, I mentioned the the creating podcast outline video, part one of this 4-part series. Um, I would link that in the description, and I have. You can go check that out there. Another thing I would also add in that section, social links. If you are putting your social media like I do in your show notes, you would definitely want to make a section for that. Keep it very, very concise, very relevant for the links and resources. And then the last section is like SEO keywords, hashtags, and I'm not gonna even lie to you. I straight up stole this from Tyson 4D. So if you ever see this video, Tyson 4D, you're the one. Thanks for this. But what he basically does is towards the end of some of his videos, he'll put a little section that says topics mentioned in this video, or this video talks about, or this video mentions, like a little phrase like that, and then like things that are actually mentioned in the video. So this can help to tell the YouTube algorithm and the actual employers and researchers of YouTube that this is what your video is about. And, this is who it would help or not. Yeah, you can put this is what it's about, this is who it can help. These are some of the topics covered, the things I mentioned, people mentioned. That way you give the algorithm a little help. So yeah, though that's pretty much the bulk or base of the outline, the summary, the offer or lead magnets, links and resources, and then the SEO keywords, hashtags. And so before recording, after I complete the outline, I will complete as many of these as I can, which usually is all of them. And then after I'm done recording, while I'm reviewing the video, making sure that I didn't say anything too crazy or look too crazy, I will go back and just grab anything I mentioned that I missed. So if I mentioned any links or any videos, any podcasts, any specific people that I didn't include the first time before recording, then I'll go back, just add those, and then also do a link check. Very, very important to make sure that the links work. The people cannot click the things if the links don't work, so definitely make sure you do that. And then I move them to YouTube. So after everything is set up and good to go, I'll just copy it and paste it over to YouTube. Side note, if you do copy and paste them like I do to YouTube, sometimes moving the links over makes it a little bit wonky. So you might need to copy and paste each link individually. All right, and because I know you watched the outline video part one, let's continue with that example before I tell you the important notes that I learned about show notes. All right, so we're going to pick up right where we left off with that example of the copywriter's handbook. So we did the outline last time. Now we're going to do the show notes. Just like I mentioned before, I usually do the summary, the offer, links and resources, and then SEO, right? So let's just jump on into that. A summary. Now, this is just for the purpose of example. I'm probably going to, actually, no, I am going to put out this example for the copywriter's handbook, but it may be a little bit different, maybe a little bit edited by the time you see it. So this is just for teaching purposes, example purposes. So summary, if you're looking for a master class in copywriting with out paying masterclass prices, the copywriter's handbook is for you. Learn what I learned from this book so you can be a more engaging and persuasive writer. Let's say, learn what I learned from this book so you can be a more engaging and persuasive, let's say, copywriter, because we don't want to say just writer. Writing and copywriting, very different. Writer, and ultimately make more money. Bam, there we go. So I think that's pretty intriguing. So it doesn't tell you exactly what I learned from the book, but it tells you that I learned something, and that if you learn what I learned, you can be a more engaging and persuasive copywriter, make more money. Those are benefits and advantages, things that the viewer would get out of this watching this video. So definitely want to do that. And then the offer. You may have multiple offers. I would definitely say put all the ones that are relevant to the viewer. And so I am going to put 2. Say if you're having trouble start or structuring your emails, check out my easy email guidebook here. Come back and put that link in a little bit. Say if you money making email list and are overwhelmed with spelling, overwhelmed with writing emails day in and day out, can help. I can, let's say, relieve that stress here. Yeah, okay. Very simple, but definitely gets the job done. So let's go to links and resources. Um, and links, check out I'm actually going to put some of these links in so that I don't actually forget. Okay. And see that link there. Okay, so I got those links for the offers. Check out Easy Podcast. That, and then let's see my socials. And just a side note, after you've made like 1 or 2, what you can do is this. I'm going to go to a different tab where I have all of my links. Move that over. Where I have all of my links in one place. So you'll definitely want to do that going forward. That way it'll just make it easier and faster for you to make show notes. So I am just going to copy and paste my socials from there to here. Okay. And then, so summary's done, offers done, links and resources done, and then keywords, topics covered in Okay, so in this video, we talk about the Copywriter's Handbook. We talk about Robert Bly. He is the author. We, let's see, in the video, we talk about Riverside. That's where I got the outline template from. Let's see, we talk about copywriting, marketing, principles. I think we mentioned Think Media somewhere in there. Definitely content creation. YouTube. Yeah, okay, that's great. We'll just stop there. And there you have it. This is our YouTube description. Real quick and simple, you don't always have to have yours exactly like this, but this is a great structure to start with. And speaking of starting, let me start with the final section, which is the important notes about show notes, to hopefully help you make them easier, faster, better, with less complications than I had before. Okay, so the first thing, I started with Riverside templates, and whether that's with outlines or with show notes, it helps to have some kind of structure. But whatever that structure is, shout out to Riverside as well. Whatever that structure is, just be open and flexible because it will change. There is no 100% perfect structure. And even if you like the structure today, you may not like it in 2 weeks. You may not like it in, 3 months. It may be obsolete in, however long. So just stay open and flexible because you're always changing things. You're always optimizing. And if you're always optimizing, that literally means you're always changing things. So just, be aware of that. Second note, review other people's show notes. You can keep like a swipe file or an inspiration file. That's what I do, of people's or creators' show notes that you really like. If you were to look inside my swipe file, you would see show notes by like Lewis Howes. I love his show notes. You'd see Alex and Layla Hermosi show notes. They have really good, of course, show notes. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, Tyson 4D. You definitely see him in there. You see Think Media in there. Yeah. So just a short, easy to view file of show notes that you like will help you undoubtedly make better show notes. The third one is kind of one that I mentioned before, but it's after you have like a structure that you like, you can copy and paste main parts to increase your speed. So I was talking about that for the links. Instead of going to YouTube or to Instagram or LinkedIn or TikTok every time I want to grab my social, link, keeping them in one place so then I can copy and paste them means I can make show notes even faster. So why would I not do that? That's definitely a tip, but I didn't figure that out until after I had created a few show notes, very trial and error for me. So hopefully you don't have to go through that. Make sure you create a little section for all your links. That way you can just copy and paste them later when you need them. And then the last one, and I feel like this may be probably one of, if not the most important tip. There's a principle for show notes for a lot of things, landing pages, that's called above the fold. And that's what you want to think of when you're thinking of show notes. Essentially, above the fold is all of the text and everything that you would see before you have to scroll if you're on your phone, before you have to press the more button if you're looking on YouTube for videos, right? Look at someone's show notes and you'll see it says like show notes, and then it may have like one, maybe to three lines before you have to click show more, right? Everything that you see before those 2 to 3 lines, that's the above the fold section. That's prime real estate. That's what the viewer is going to see before they even make a decision to click show more. If if what they see on the above the fold is not fantastic, if it's not relevant to the video and the topic, then they may not even see, like, they may not even click the show more, which means if you have your offers and if you have your links and things at the bottom that people want to see, they may not be able to see them if you don't have something engaging above the fold, right? So remember that. Um, the most important thing, your offer, the things that's going to be the most interesting, you want to put that above the fold. So, like I said, hopefully these things will help you create better, faster, or create better show notes faster and easier. But this is not the only way to make them, may not even be the best way. Again, it's the way that I'm doing it currently, and I hope it helps you. Take what you need, leave the rest, and make sure to check out part 3, the recording part, here.